Yeah, I think the boys are pretty excited, especially after the way we performed in the weekend. We sort of battled our way back into the game, but I think we always knew our style of footy, but the way we started was just, it wasn't us, and I think that's something we've been talking about to fix up, and that's what we're looking to do.
Does that fire you up, especially against Australia, knowing you have to be better, but the way you started especially, does that fire you guys up this week?
I don't think it sort of fires us up. I think that's what we sort of went into the Fiji game a bit. We were a bit too fired up, and then we just let our aggression go over our heads, and we just sort of didn't think about discipline-wise, and I think that's where we sort of lost the game at the start of the game, and we sort of just let them out of their own end, and yeah, they just found life in their footy, and I think that's where they put it to us.
They're obviously pretty confident going into this week, and there's a lot of stuff in their media about like flights already being booked home for you guys and that sort of thing, so that's already started that kind of banter. How do you guys take that, and you happy for them to be the favourites?
Yeah, I think just looking at it, I think they've always had a solid team, and every time we go up against them, there's always chat about the Kiwis being the underdogs, and I think that's sort of the way it's always been, and I think that sort of just feels fire to us a little bit, but in saying that, we sort of try and block everything outside of us. We focus on what we need to do, and yeah, obviously people are going to say what they're going to say, and they have opinions, we have ours, and I think at the end of the day, what's in our group matters the most.
I guess the big thing for the Aussies is obviously the inclusion of Jared and what he brings.
Yeah, he's even I'd say like just this year in the NRL, it was always tough playing against him. I hated playing against him because he's just that engine for the Roosters. He's the voice for their middle pack. He was just the alpha male going forward, and I think that's what he brings to a team. And yeah, I think just having him in our side, like when you're up against him, you hate to play against him, but when he's in your team, he's one of the most persons you love to play alongside, and I think what he brings to the game will be good for us.
Yeah, what about internally though? Because it is that energy, it is that next bit of aggression, that leg up.
Yeah, I think yeah. Well, look, he just takes the middles with him, and then when he does that, it sort of gives us energy as an edge to sort of get on the back of them, and yeah, when he sort of just arcs up, I know there's a downside to it, but I think that's just what we have to live with. That's his game, and I'm not going to tell him to sort of pull it back. That's just what he's about, and yeah, I'm excited for him to come back and play the way he does.
Obviously, Nelson fits into that category as well. Some fine line sometimes.
Yeah, I think yeah, just having those big boys, you sort of can't tell them what to do. You don't want to overplay their role, get them overthinking, and yeah, I think if you just sort of tell them to just run hard, run at certain players, they'll do it. And I think yeah, Madge is doing a good job there, sort of just giving them a guideline on what to do. And I think yeah, now sort of showed that in the weekend, and he was good for us.
Harry Grant was expecting a bit of cheek and carry on from the cheese.
Yeah, I think that's just them too. They've always had that banter, even like they bring it out of social media, whatever they do. But yeah, I suppose that's what good mates do. Off the field, they just have a lot of banter. Even on the field, I think it's like, so like sort of for me, I like playing against my best mates. It sort of brings the competitive side out of me a bit more, and yeah, so I could just imagine what those two would be like out on the field.
As I mean, the team hasn't been announced yet, but they're talking about Ben Hunt and Harry Grant both spending a bit of time there.
Yeah, obviously they've both been there top level for their country, for their state, and they do a good job there, and no doubt whoever's there, they're going to do an awesome job, and we have to be ready for whatever comes to us. So I think just as a team, if we just focus on what we need to do, not overdo our job, everyone play their part, I think would come a long way with yeah, defending them two in the middle there.
The battle will be won in the middle, won't it?
Yeah, I think yeah, just with their nines, their forward pack, I think that's where both teams will sort of look forward to coming. I think both sides have a strong forward pack, and I think yeah, both sides will be looking to see who can come on top there. But yeah, and saying that, like, obviously they've got a strong outside backs, their spines, yeah, so they've sort of they've got attack all over the park.
It was funny to hear the boys talk yesterday, especially Harry was talking about not underestimating you guys and saying as a kid this is what he dreamed of, is battling the Kiwis, putting on the green and gold, and it's the pinnacle.
Yeah, I think just sort of the same with us. It's just like going up against like your local derby club, and I think growing up Australia was always that team for us. No matter what sport it was, you're always sort of supporting the team that's going up against Aussie, and that's just because they're our local derby type team. And I think even myself growing up, I've always wanted to play for the Kiwis against Australia, and yeah, it's just exciting to be doing that in the World Cup.
Just 2 more questions from me. I'm just looking at Fish. He's another one. Wow.
Yeah,
physically, like.
Yeah, he's probably one of the he's probably the benchmark in our team at the moment. Just the hunger he has in the game, his leadership. He's been awesome for us, and I think well, everyone knows what he can do. You could say he's underrated, but everyone knows what he can do, and just the stuff, the hunger, the desire he wants to win is awesome.
Did I hear you just say chat with Fish? Does he talk?
Yeah, he actually does. That's what's funny. Like when he wants to go, when he speaks, everyone listens. So yeah, like outside of footy, he's quiet, but when it comes to training, wanting to win, he's probably the one leading all the talk in that. But yeah, he's got it all. One
last question, and that's Madge, and this is probably a bit of a girly question, but like he was obviously really pissed off with the last game, wasn't he? Like, was he tearing strips off the wall at half time? Like, what was his reaction?
Half time, I think he sort of just come and just sort of try to make us calmly stick to our game plan, and then full time he sort of gave us a little bit, but we sort of deserved it, just the way we started. Like we led them straight into it, put ourselves on the back foot, and if we're going to do that to Australia, they're not going to give us the chance to get back into the game, and we can't afford to do that against these fellas.
The feeling's good. I think when your test match is hard, and you definitely saw that on the weekend that just went, so we've been able to come back into training, review, and obviously fix what we need to, and kind of looking forward to the challenges Friday night.
There's already been a bit of chat starting about obviously the Trans-Tasman clash. For you as a Kiwi, how do you look forward to that in such a big game as well?
Yeah, I think I've grown up watching these games, and this will be the first time I lace up against an Aussie squad in the top level, and I'm really excited for that because there's a big opportunity that lies ahead of us after this Trans-Tasman test, and that's just more motivation to get one up on them.
They'll be pretty heavy favourites, and a lot of pressure of expectation on them from back home as well. Is that all good with you guys? You're happy for them to take that tag, and you'll take the underdog tag?
Yeah, look, I think they've played a solid month of footy together, and you can see that they're a quality side, and that takes nothing away from us. We're also a quality side, and I've no doubt the boys will prepare well and make sure that we, put out a good performance on Friday night.
Talk to me about Madge and how he's been this week. I guess he's escaped that victory.
I guess he had to be honest, and we had to be honest with ourselves. That wasn't our best performance, but look, we got through the quarterfinal and we put ourselves in a position to face up against Aussie. So we had to move on pretty quickly, and that's what we did. And we got back out on the paddock and fixed what we needed to.
No Jared. Obviously, hopefully Jared this week. What does he bring to your side?
Jared?
Jared very hungry.
He's still a ball of energy around the boys, and he brings experience. And that's something you can't just bring out of nowhere, and he's been around for a while, so even though he's not out on the paddock with us this coming Friday, he brings a lot of calming energy and a bit of fun, and helps us switch off really.
What about in terms of the cycle of the game? Where do you see it being won, through the middle?
Yeah, our boys are big and powerful, and I think we're just going to have to start well and then take it to them for full 80 minutes, because that's what it's going to take this Friday, and that's what we're going to do.
Harry Grant talked about a little bit about friendly banter between the likes of the Cheese and Nelson, like some of his comments.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it, but Cheese is always, running his mouth and always being a cheeky little fella. So I'm not surprised that he's going back and forth with his Storm teammate.
What does it mean to run out for the country?
Massive honour, and I guess just just blessed to be in the position that I am. And I remember just growing up watching the Kiwis run out on TV, and I was just looking at photos over the weekend. I was pretty buzzed out by the fact that I was the person on that field, and I don't think that'll ever change, whether it be my first game, 10th game, or my very last. So.